Chapter 4. Was I special? That was the question I had to ask myself. And not just in the let's not offend sensibility so everyone's special sort of way. And I'm sure there was something special somewhere deep inside of me. But until I figured out what it was, I decided to go with the serenading plan. I've never been on the cusp of musical trends, so I didn't know what the hot pop love song of the moment was. So I went with the CD I found in Mom's room, Cat Stevens' Tea for the Tillerman. Wild World seemed like a good choice. I got a cheap acoustic guitar from Amvets and practiced the song day and night, except for when I was preoccupied with school, sleep, or corn muffins. But when I mustered the time, I gave it 86%. That may sound like I was slacking, but doctors have found that I'm only physically capable of getting 89% at most. So, yeah, I guess I was slacking a bit. But it didn't seem too difficult of a song. Simple melody, A minor to D7 to G chord progression, maybe a couple of other ones. Actually, I don't even know what a chord is. Still, my rendition wasn't too shabby. What could go wrong? Now, I had to figure out the best time to woo Nadine with my song. I found out that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, she hung out with her knitting group at the park. And no, it wasn't just a bunch of old people. Apparently, knitting at the park was this year's trend for teenage girls. Times like these made me kind of glad I was not on the cusp of fashion. I had to look good, so I got myself a fancy white double-breasted sports jacket from the Salvation Army. I had to smell good, so I dabbed some aqua velvet behind my ears, and on the nape of my neck, and underneath my armpits, and between my fingers, and doused liberally in my bikini zone, which stung a lot. But no one ever said love comes easy. I walked through the park, guitar in hand. My stomach was knotted in, knots. But I had my eye on the prize. The knitting group was before me, all sitting on a blanket on the grass, hard at work crocheting afghans or something. I briefly wondered if they made the blanket they were sitting on. But then I refocused. I cleared my throat so that they would look up at me. Nadine was front and center. Deacon? The only something. Okay, this was not getting off to a good start. The knitters were giggling, and Nadine looked a tad uncomfortable as she squirmed about. Clearly, I'm not very good at introductions, I said. Clearly. But it wasn't too late for me to regain control of the situation. All I had to do was play my song. I put the guitar in position and strummed the A minor chord. Somewhat. Then I began singing. Until it was time to change chords. At that point, I stopped to reposition my fingers. Then I started singing again until the next chord changed. It continued on this way for a bit. I barely got through the first chorus when one of the strings broke. These tragedies never befall other dramatic heroes. If there was any bright spot, it was the fact that Nadine was the only one of her group not laughing. "Deacon," she said, "have you actually paid attention to the words in that song? I mean, really paid attention?" Enough to memorize them, I guess. Why, did I screw up? Well, on top of all the other screwing up? In the song, he's telling the girl that she can't make it out in the world without him. It's not exactly a flattering statement to be on the receiving end of. Clearly she was embarrassed, but whether it was for me or for herself, I wasn't sure. Still, the fact that she wasn't mocking me meant she had some sort of compassion, and you can't spell compassion without passion. Okay, that was a bit of a stretch, but I was a lovesick fool.